Alright, I bumped myself up a little bit. Hopefully, that's a little bit better. I guess this voice meter lies to me a little bit, but if I'm still a little bit quiet, let me know and I'll turn it up again. But we do have action underway right now, so both of them starting with V Hard, and SK is going to take the first stage in 16 seconds, so looking to maybe make another upset on Yume. That would be some rough luck in the bracket for him.
Oh.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching Yume practice a little earlier, and he was getting a little bit flustered. So I'm hoping that that's out of his system now. Just like having a hard time recognizing chains and keeping things going. But so Kirby just gets a 12-second Brock, which is kind of dumb. So hopefully we can see Yume follow up here.
Dude, SK is nuts right now with these kills.
Alright, that's... alright. So 20 seconds isn't bad that Yume follows up with, and as I found out once again last night, any one of these guys control you, even the early stage opponents.
Man, I remember countless times of doing... Well, before I go into that, SK has yet to have a stage over, I believe, 16 seconds. Was that his Brock kill as well? It might have been 18. But he is just going in right now.
I think his Brock kill was like 11 seconds.
Was it? I don't know, man. He's doing great. That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, let's hope it keeps going.
But Yume himself isn't having too long of stages either at this beginning. Like, he's staying very, very close behind. It's just those little seconds that are adding up. And SK again with another sub 20, man. What is this guy?
Oh my god. This is reminiscent of my run last night. But yeah, I mean, what's important, if you can just get like early kills, like in no drawn out matches, you care more about that than getting like the extremely quick times. I would say, in this category.
Also, I guess I never did give you a count, but I have a 254, 255, 256.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing.
Sweet.
Alright, let's see if this will take care of Erica. I think it should.
No.
21 seconds on Erica.
Unfortunately, not a sub 20 with the pitiful time of 21 seconds. I mean, who wants to get a 21-second time?
This is the loser's bracket after all. And honestly, Yume is keeping up at least. He's getting he's executing, and he gets the 15-second Erica. He's putting the pressure on SK. But then SK
man.
follows up with 16 seconds on Koga.
I can guarantee this is probably the best start he's ever had to a run.
These would be good times in hard. Like, if you got these times in hard, like, you would not be ashamed. It wouldn't be quite world record, but it'd still be really damn good.
Heck, I'd be satisfied with them in normal even, to be honest.
Yeah, really? Alright,
I mean, they're not...
that would be good on Sabrina, too.
They're not, like, world record quality, but, I mean, it's not like they're terrible.
Oh, getting trolled by Sabrina. Oh my god. Ah.
I guess the streak had to die eventually, though.
Yeah. Yeah, last night I was at 8 minutes through Richie. Like, going into Richie. But 37 seconds, I mean, Sabrina didn't string him along that much longer, so he's still at a really good pace. And, unfortunately, Yume is getting trolled a little bit. Koga does the mid-air clear, which is just obnoxious.
I guess going back a little bit to what you were saying earlier, though, talking about, like, just you learned any person control you in this run. I remember just like having some unlucky S-hard runs doing attempts, and if you're frustrated enough, you just kind of get off to bad patterns even with just Gary at the very beginning. And I've had like 5+ minute fights on him alone sometimes, and it's rough. And sometimes you do get unlucky, but you want to stay in the positive mindset too, because the second you start slacking off is when you're gonna just start having lesser consistent stages.
Yeah, if you allow yourself to get flustered, I mean, this game is, as far as what you're in control of, it's pure execution. I mean, beyond that, you really can't do anything. So, like, if you can just focus on executing your double 4 combos, you have to do your best not to let yourself get upset by whatever luck happens.
Yeah, SK struggling a little bit on Blaine here, which has allowed Yume to catch up. He's just had the problem of trying to top off Blaine here, and he's probably not used to it for this run because he was getting such quick kills earlier on, and just since he didn't get that quick kill on Blaine, just didn't really have any good follow-ups, and he's found himself in a pretty awful pattern right now.
Well, he was getting lucky with the CPU like raising its stack super high and only needing like not that much to top him off.
But due to that match, Yume will actually take the lead now. SK's had the faster times overall, but Yume with that consistency, and he's gonna pull ahead to this last half of Very Hard.
Yeah, let's see how Tracy treats him. It's a Tracy where the quick kill strats become more important, and fortunately he's not able to get his chain that started. He's gonna go for another try, and let's see if a Tracy will hopefully combo out and give him some help. But looks like that's not going to be the case as he gets to clear. Yume just doing his best to top off Blaine, but I would honestly go for the fresh slate here and give it a restart, because Blaine is still at the level where if you get your execution down, if you execute your double 4 combo, there's still a pretty good chance that he'll die.
Alright, SK might get this kill pretty soon here. Depends. Yeah, he's going to be in stack lowering mode. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will.
Yeah. SK a little frustrated on his stream. It's still anyone's race, though. I mean, any one of these guys.
Yeah, it's definitely not over.
Give you a hard time.
It's definitely not over until Mewtwo happens, because we haven't seen a legit comeback, but we saw, I forget which race it was, but someone was on Mewtwo while the other person was like on I want to say Richie, and then when the race ended, they both were on Mewtwo. I think it was like a match with Lightning and Jake.
I think so too, but it was like, yeah, Mewtwo strung him along for like 6 minutes or 8 minutes or something ridiculous. Yeah, SK is charging ahead after that bad Blaine.
Looks like business as usual for him. Let's see if that beginning match trend will continue here, as Yume is struggling a little bit with Rocket. It's not a topping off problem, but Rocket's just got a lot of blocks to work with, so he's making tons of combos, chains, clears, whatever he wants. He's like combining everything right now.
Honestly, if you're not going to reset, like, I'm pretty reset heavy, but if you just got to go all out if you're not going to reset, because you can, on V-Hard, you can rely on the CPU to make enough mistakes to really keep you in it no matter where you are, which isn't really the case in S-Hard. Yeah, if you look at SK's, Rocket's ticking around a lot, and it ends up giving it to SK. This might be enough for Rocket. Well, no, not quite. He doesn't have him topped off on Yume's side. Just, it's always one line short, unfortunately. It always seems to be. So you never want to take any chances. Like, just go all out. And SK is going to try to go for a better setup there. He doesn't want to play that out. Yeah, and if I were Yume, I would consider starting this over again, because he doesn't have Rocket topped off, and he's not in a good spot to top him off. And he is going to go ahead and do that.
SK's in a fairly large chain. If he gets lucky enough here, he might be able to get the kill, and that's exactly what happened. Giovanni just getting a little bit too antsy with those blocks and clears everything he has a little bit early.
I just love how sloppy the V-Hard AI can be.
Yeah, it's like you see so many opportunities for them to clear, and right before the garbage falls down, they're like, you know what? I have these clears already. Why not just do them now?
Well, as they're down stacking, they'll clear stuff. Like, no matter, like, if it's in their way, they'll clear it. So with V-Hard, like, they can, like, go off and play really smart, or they can just, like, waste all their blocks.
Oh, the reset almost paid off for Yume, but he was one line short, and is gonna have to reset that stage. That was unfortunate, because he did have, like, the kill there. And as we're saying that, SK... man, he's been just getting a lot of consistent times besides, like, that one big troll he had.
Mm-hmm. He's doing really good so far. And now, getting into the later stages, the setup's going to be even more important. And I think he might be getting a little too antsy, honestly. He's going to reset, but he didn't raise a stack very high. And he wasn't able to get his chains going.
And I feel like that is the correct move to do most of the time. If you just get off to a poor start, the AI doesn't have anything on their screen, and you don't have any, like, rebuttal that you can send to them, at least not quick enough, just go ahead and restart it, put yourself back into that quick kill position, and then hope for the best on the second round.
Yeah, there are a lot of different factors I take into account with resetting. If I don't get a good start off, I'll typically reset. If I do get a good setup and it doesn't work right away, but their stack is still pretty low, I'll go ahead and wait it out. But if I get the good setup, but it doesn't work, and then their stack gets up high, then I'll probably reset in that case as well. But it looks like Yume is one stage behind now, and we're at the point where the troll potential gets really high. So it's still anyone's race, and these guys just have to focus on doing the best job, the best execution that they can. Yeah, but as I say that, SK is gonna pull off is gonna take care of Lorelei and move 2 stages ahead. And Bruno goes ahead and picks Primeape, which is, a really good sign, anecdotally.
Yeah, I like fighting Primeape, I feel like, most of the time. Whenever he picks Onyx, I hear that soundbite that he does when he's chaining, and I know I'm screwed.
But you want to hear that soundbite a lot, though. Like, you want them to go ahead and...
if it's at the beginning of the match, but if he gets past that and he just keeps doing that for a couple minutes, it's like,
Yeah, then you're probably not going to have room to top him off. And SK is didn't have a good start there. I think he's only able to send like 2-3 chains, and that's not nearly enough. But his stack is pretty low, or decently low. So we'll see if he can get something going and top him off. And if we look on Yume's side, if he can like, that would have been a good setup if Lorelei would have left a column of blocks, but unfortunately did not. But it doesn't matter because Lorelei had terrible block arrangement.
Yeah, that was some good lucky stuff for him, as he's gonna tie it up here. The last 3 stages, SK going to take a reset as well. So I guess Yume technically back in the lead. It's been not too many lead changes, but we've seen like heavy comebacks where SK started strong. Yume then took a big lead. Well, maybe not too big, but a good lead. SK pulled ahead again.
This is a good setup from Yume. I would stop this right now though. Okay, and we'll see this. We'll see if this takes care of Bruno, and it does.
Oh man, crazy stuff right now.
I think it's really important for racers like not to get caught up with how much they're ahead or how much they're behind. And just that might have like a poor impact on your play if you let that get into your head.
Yeah, focus first. Make sure you're doing the right stuff, especially for a game like Puzzle League where it basically is non-stop action. Yeah, you can go for the quick kill and kind of wait and see, but if you're not too reset heavy, you gotta, keep the blocks coming, so that way if they do make a rebuttal to you, you have some more garbage to throw at them.
I mean, we hear all the time about pro athletes just, not worrying about any of that off the field stuff or what's at stake, where they just focus on what they have control over, which is, how well they play. Yeah, SK is unfortunately still getting trolled by Bruno. He had him pretty low earlier, but he was able to find the clear. But he is getting helped out by Gary, who's also giving Yume a hard time. And with that garbage clear, Bruno's going to get his stack up pretty high now.
Yeah,
but it seems like SK's committed to finishing this off.
They're both dealing with pretty similar situations, though SK is going to reset this stage right now.
Yeah.
But
right as I say, he's dedicated to finishing him off. It always happens.
But you get into that pattern where there's just a lot of blocks on the opponent's screen, and that's a good time to debate whether or not you should reset or not, which could work out for SK here, but it looks like he's just going to be a little bit short on garbage.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit flustered or just getting bad block setup because he is having a hard time topping him off. See, that would have, if he could have topped him off right there, he would have had the win, but it seems like he was focusing a little too much on his own garbage when he probably should have been raising the stack up as much as he could have.
Yume is going to get the kill here. He's going to be heading into Mewtwo, so this is SK's last chance with this reset he's taking. He's probably got to get the quick kill now so he can get some momentum to maybe challenge Yume. But all it takes is one quick kill on Mewtwo to make this first race a done deal.
Yeah, we'll see if Mewtwo ends up being free. Yume is getting a good setup so far. And so now we'll just have to see if Mewtwo will help him out.
He extended his chain very well here. It might work out, but Mewtwo really didn't do anything, so that's a bit unlucky for him. But he still got some chances after the first clear at the bottom. That's not what you like to see, though.
Yeah. I think Mewtwo, he had a chance earlier on in the chain when Mewtwo was a little lower to drop it, but unfortunately missed that window. But I think I think he has it right here. No, can he get? Oh, Mewtwo just can't finish it off, and it's going to be Yume for game 1.
Yeah, with that very last chance, right as he clears both of the combo garbage blocks, there you just have the littlest of hope there that you can still get that kill. As soon as they do clear like that big garbage block you send afterward, usually that's a good indication of resetting. Sometimes not, but he managed to just get it in with a little bit of time left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they clear the big block but they're still pretty low, I would ride that out. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and see if, for now, it seems Kirby's going to try to finish off strong. We'll see if he wants to finish off the race or if he ends up just wanting to go to game 2.
I think if he'll try to do some more stuff to Bruno, usually he is the kind of person in a quick restart, go to the next match. But if he gets trolled on Bruno or feels the position where he has to reset again, he might quit. I think he'll finish out this run, though. He probably wants a feel for Gary and Mewtwo going into next game.
Yeah, fortunately, Bruno helped him out a lot with those extra clears. My least favorite thing about V-Hard is that sometimes you'll see their cursor spaz out as if they have no clears, and then they'll discover a clear and then go for it. They totally get your hopes up. Alright, let's see if this can take care of Gary here. Doesn't seem likely.
Almost. He sent a pretty big chain to him, so a little bit of that shaking and the unlucky clear that was already matched up. He might have been able to get the kill if the chain was a bit smaller, but he still had it topped off. But
I don't think he had a second 4 combo either, so that didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary screws himself over. He had a clear with those reds, but then he moved the red over to the second row.
You know what's funny? SK was in a death situation himself as well. He had one line of breathing room there, but if he was topped off, it would have been a race to see who died first.
Basically just whose timer runs down first. And as we all know, the computer has infinite time, so...
SK with a good follow-up, which is actually beneficial for him here if Mewtwo would have started a chain, because the double 4 combo is going to be at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Mewtwo had those blues all lined up.
SK going for some 3-frame tricks there. Those are pretty difficult to hit, especially that one. I mean, I know some people are consistent. That's one of the ones I don't practice the most because I don't find it a really good situation ever to use it.
Which one are you talking about?
It's where you like slide the block and a clear basically lands horizontal, but you have that block sitting in 2 positions basically to make it happen. It's hard to explain in words. If it pops up again, I'll show it off.
Oh, is that where you make like a temporary platform?
Yeah,
for it to clear?
It's the one that they show off in the tutorial, actually, I'm pretty sure. Like in Professor Oak's lab, or Mimic Mansion or something. It's something that they try to help you do, or show you at least.
I don't think that one's that bad. I can get that one probably at least half the time. But you don't want to you never want to have to be in a situation where you have to get like a frame perfect chain to continue. But as we're bantering, SK finishes off Mewtwo with a sub-minute, which isn't too bad. It's better than having it drag on for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he just got held up on a couple stages that wasted a lot of time. But, you know, he had a pretty strong Gary and Mewtwo. Sub-minute for both isn't too bad at all, especially for a race.
Yeah, I think we had a. This is a good preview of things to come. It was a pretty close race until until SK just got walled by Bruno there. All right, looks like we're about to start counting down.
Yeah, I usually join the channel where both of the racers are at, and I saw one of them ready up, and it said one remaining. So I thought they were both ready and tried to quit a little bit ahead of time. But it was only one racer in there and felt kind of stupid. I'm like, oh, nice.
Well, were you the second person in there? Yeah, looks like we're starting.
It looks like Yume didn't reset his timer, maybe? Oh well. We'll just go off of SK's timer.
Oh, I just heard a growl of frustration from you, maybe related to that timer issue.
Oh well, they're only splits. The good thing is you can always retime it, but it is a little bit annoying. I can understand that.
Yeah. SK gets off to a really good start, and Yume had trouble getting started there, it looks like.
Some shades of last game, maybe. SK with that sub 20. Let's see if that pattern continues to trend here. He seems to just have these beginning stages down because he knows, you know, it's not all about a garbage game. This is actually just playing strategic, getting your combos off, and just sending, you know, a modest amount. That'll usually do the job.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't enough to top off Brock, and he finds time for the clear. Yeah, you never want to get held up in the early game, because more often than not, if you execute, they will die. The troll potential is much greater in the second half.
I'm going to pay attention a little bit more to Yume's because I did watch SK's for the majority at the beginning. And I want to see if it's just a little bit of bad luck or what's going on Yume's side. I mean, he didn't have 2 slow stages at last game, but it was enough for SK, as we just see right here with another 16-second fight. So, I don't know. He didn't do a double 4 combo at the bottom here. He will get the kill still. So maybe it's just not sending the appropriate garbage blocks. I think he does do it pretty consistently. He's a pretty educated guy when it comes to this game. So I'm not too sure. Maybe the chain blocks are a little bit too big and are just causing the screen to shake a little bit longer than it should. Who knows?
Geez, 13 seconds for SK. And let's see how Yume gets started on Misty here. Yeah, fortunately not the start he wants, but he has a decent follow-up here. Well, let's see if he can top off Misty with some combo garbage or another chain.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far at the beginning of this, he has missed the double 4 both of the 2 previous stages, and he's just dropped a lot of chains in general here. And most of his follow-ups are just going to be big chain blocks and kind of easy to clear, though. As the CPU is still early in Very Hard, they do have a big tendency to die randomly. But Misty's finding her way to get herself some clears right now. And this
Misty's just having everything lined up. Yeah, I mean, you can get trolled on any stage, but that's more likely to happen with the earlier stages if they just happen to have clears like lined up every time, which is kind of frustrating. Yeah, and SK would have had Koga topped off if Koga didn't go off on a massive chain there. It's a little unfortunate there. You always want to be... I found that the best strategy from watching cards is if you can do double 4, if you can start with a 4 and then get your first combo to be a 4, and then after that like do some like extra combo garbage with your chains. That seems to be the best strat to top them off.
Yeah, I always like that, the way he does it too. Make sure, get your double 4 first, but you can throw in more combos afterwards. Preferably 5s. 5 stack beautifully, take up the least amount of blocks, and just pile them up on the opponent's screen. And then if I'm trying to just send a couple lines after that, I always love to do just a 4 combo with a 2 chain. It's a quick 2 lines if you can't immediately find like 2 5 combos.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to set up.
It's really easy to find 4s. Sometimes it's hard to find 5s. Honestly. So Yume's catching up a little bit with that that trolly Koga. But he's gonna have to execute a little better.
Yeah, I only do the 2 chains with a 4 combo only when I'm trying to like get the tail end of the quick kill, and I didn't send enough garbage. And usually, if the quick kill's out of the question and I'm just topping it off, I always try to start newer chains with the 4 combo, because sometimes it does line up to where you can possibly get that set up later on in the match.
Also, if you have like a good setup for it on screen already, like go for a time lag chain to get like a quick 3 chain. Like typically, if you have like an L-shaped 5, those can set up really well for time lag chains.
Alright, SK to Blaine again. This is where he lost about 3 minutes of his run last time. And it might continue here unless Blaine doesn't find anything. He got that 4 combo right at the last second there.
Yeah, that was probably a little longer than necessary. But he's able to find another clear here. Meanwhile, Yume is getting started on Sabrina. If you can have a solid Sabrina, he will... he'll catch up, and he has a good setup so far. And alright, so that's a good start. Now he's going to go for some follow-up garbage. And okay, so that should top her off. And let's see if she can find a clear. And she cannot, so Yume's just going to be a little bit behind, but basically both on the same stage.
I think we know who SK hates the most today.
Yeah. Blaine has certainly been hot.
Blaine's an interesting one for me. I don't think I have too much troubles, but he is someone who would troll more than other late trainers, I'd say. I don't think, whenever I play, I usually get through Giovanni like in a quick kill. I swear, almost every run.
Yeah, everyone has that one person that you wouldn't expect to be easy or you wouldn't expect to be hard, but they defy expectations. They're both having trouble, though. Yume not able to top off Blaine, and on SK screen, Blaine has plenty of blocks to work with, and just not letting up, clearing and sending chains, and making it hard for SK to top him off.
Make sure you quote me on that Giovanni thing too, so when I play my next match and get trolled by Gio for like 3 minutes, you can make fun of me.
That's how it always works in Puzzle League. Whatever you don't expect to happen will happen. You'll send like the worst setup of your life and then get a quick kill out of it. That's when you know you're on a roll, though.
Alright, what's up, Blaine? Do you want to die anytime soon for either of these guys?
Yeah, this is so ridiculous. SK is just sick of that. See, that's an example of why I tend to be like, you know, pretty reset heavy, because if he would have reset early there, he would have saved 2 minutes. And I think like when you're on, you still have a good chance of getting the quick kill with Blaine. So I would just say, like, from a probability standpoint, on average, you're going to save more time by resetting.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you there, especially in Blaine, because this is where I tend to finally start giving into reset strats for very hard. I try not to do them for early game, but I end up finding myself doing them from time to time.
It's like we're about neck and neck here. Yume just about 10 seconds behind, both starting up Tracy. Yeah, and unfortunately, he wasn't able. Yeah, he's going to restart Tracy right away, and that's what I do typically. If I don't get a good setup, I will just immediately reset. Looks like SK is going on a massive chain. He's going to hope that Tracy just stops. Probably should have dropped that a little earlier, though.
He's going for swag now. I can tell when a man doesn't care about the game and he just wants to get a big chain. He almost... Oh, he did end up killing himself because of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I respect it, though. He wanted that mystery chain. Sometimes when a mystery chain's there, you just can't deny it. You got to go for it.
Yeah, but when... Oh, God. SK is just super reset happy now. He wants to get the perfect setup. But both of these guys are having a hard time on Troll C. But... Oh, I thought Yume would have had it. Once again, the CPU takes way longer than they should be able to for a clear. Alright. SK not quite able to top off Tracy. But fortunately, Tracy doesn't have any obvious clears yet. And he's wasting a lot of time. He's able to clear the bottom one, but wastes just enough time for SK to get the win. And Yume follows up with a kill, so he's only about 20 to 30 seconds behind. Both these guys getting trolled in equal measure.
Yeah, I mean, with the combination of last game too, mid-game hasn't treated him well thus far. Because I know SK struggled on Blaine, but I think Yume got caught up on Tracy as well last game, so... Mid-game just being a little bit trolly.
Yeah, as is tradition.
Oh, SK with what could have been a good advantage on his screen, but just didn't have any garbage sent over, because Team Rocket definitely would have bit the dust there. Yeah,
Team Rocket consistently been only about like halfway up the screen with the garbage included, so he would have had to like either send a ton of extra combo garbage or get his chain going up to like 8 or 9. Oh man, I hope SK doesn't die here. It's not really looking good for either of them, is it?
I think this is a good position for Yume right now, or it would have been. I didn't realize all those blocks were gonna clear, but if it would have just been one more line being sit down, if he would have topped Rocket off, it's a really good chance when they just get that like a horizontal clear at the bottom there with one row of blocks.
Oh, SK just died, unfortunately. But I still don't think he's in that bad of a position, because it doesn't look like, well, as I say that, a big garbage block drops on Rocket, but I was gonna say it didn't look like Rocket would be finished off anytime soon. But now he finally does go down. Hopefully, I think. No, don't forget. Okay.
Oh man, that could have been really unfortunate.
Yeah, SK was waiting on the kill, not noticing right away that he was topped off.
I think SK would be one of the people to benefit most from like reset heavy strats, because he's the person who on a free playing field at the beginning, he'll get a pretty good chain most of the time, but if he does mess up those couple of times, he's caught in garbage patterns where it seems like he doesn't react to the greatest and finds himself for 2 minutes just in a battle trying to top off the opponent. And that's what wastes you the most time. So I think, personally, for his playstyle as of right now, reset strats would benefit him the most.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. It seems like SK gets a little bit like flustered, and he doesn't know how to follow up as well.
It's a hard situation because you have garbage block on your own screen that you need to clear off in order to not die. And sometimes it's just hard to multitask, clearing off your side and trying to send enough to your opponent. Because even in regular competitive matches, that's how it tends to be too. Especially when you're playing at higher levels and it's harder to make clears. You just get locked in patterns like those.
Well, if you're like really down low and like if you're topped off and you only have 4 lines of blocks, then that's pretty difficult. But if you only have like a few lines of garbage, then I raise all the way back up as high as I can go, and I get going with the next round of garbage.
Oh, for sure. If you're very comfortable with like doing speedruns on very hard and super hard, and you react well and you really never die unless you get really unlucky, always raise your stack to the top, like in between, if you're not topped off and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed from like some people who like are still learning or are still getting their bearings, is like they'll focus on the garbage when they really shouldn't. Like if you only have like 3 lines of garbage on you, you really don't need to worry about it quite yet. And if you can chain really well, I mean, your stop timer's not going down while you're topped off. And if you chain well enough, you're going to lower your stack to where the garbage isn't a problem anymore. But we have another round of trolling. Both of these guys on Giovanni. But I think... No. I thought Yume. It looked good on Yume's side, but Giovanni finds the 4 combo.
Oh, he goes for the very long red clear there too, but unfortunately still just had a little bit of time to make that clear and survive.
I just heard you like have a minor breakdown on his stream. I mean, it's definitely a close race. I mean, I don't think it's close for the reasons we wanted. Unfortunately.
Yeah, this is where frustration's gonna be starting to kick in, because they're both pretty much over what I'd say an average pace for what they could both do.
Well, if we're going off of SK's timer, I mean, he's getting close to Yume's completion time from the last game. It looks like Yume finally finished off Giovanni. And with... Oh, Oh, that was a weird route to go. Alright, let's see if this can finish off Giovanni. Probably. I don't think he's going to have him topped off quite. Giovanni able to find the clear, but still relatively low on blocks, so I think SK really needs to focus more on dropping chains on him. Alright, he follows up with a 5 chain. Going second tier on Giovanni. I'm having flashbacks.
Alright, he's gonna finish it off though. Gonna tie this back up, at least for the time being. I've noticed a lot on Yume's screen, he's definitely getting the chains like I mentioned before, and nice kill by him as I'm talking about this, but I think he's missing a little bit of the timing at the beginning. And of course, the opponent likes to give you different patterns all the time. Sometimes they won't chain at all, sometimes they will, sometimes they leave high stacks on each end. And you just gotta kind of detect that, because sometimes he might be just looking for one specific thing. Oh my, he rose the stack a little bit too high there.
Oh jeez. Yeah, I've done that before too, or you hold the button down a little too long and end up killing yourself. Because yeah, raising your stack with a full stack automatically kills you. Luckily, it only cost him about 15 seconds.
I'm not sure if he's recognizing all the situations he could be doing, because he for the most part tries to extend his chain out a lot unless he sees that one perfect opportunity to strike. And I've seen a couple times where he should have maybe dropped it a little bit sooner and just done a quick follow-up in order to get the top off.
Yeah, I think that the follow-up strategy is probably one of the best ones.
I don't blame him on this Lorelei fight, because she barely raised her stack and got off a really quick, fast chain. And she was in that quick kill potential, but you would have had to get like a really good chain with some combos mixed in, maybe a lag chain mixed in there as well.
Yeah, I always think you want to get started with your own chain as quick as possible in case you need that extra time to top them off while they're chaining out. If you start too late, you're not going to have that time. But Yume finally gets it now. Even though it didn't look like Lorelei was in a good position to die, but he just gets one of those I didn't deserve that kills.
I just noticed, did SK die on Richie there just a second ago? I thought he got the kill for a second.
No, he died. I think he might have waited a little bit too long.
Dang, super unfortunate. But he did make up with a 20 seconds, so maybe inadvertently some reset strats there. Yeah, still pretty close right now. Yume could be in a good position upcoming here. Bruno does manage to waste a couple colors here at the end, and Yume with a pretty decent follow-up. Let's see if he gets lucky.
Yeah, Yume better go get some more stuff.
Nice. He is going to be able to close this out, unless he would have maybe went to that second tier, but definitely not near enough time there. And I think SK might get the quick kill as well. Yes, with the 30 seconds. So staying even, but a stage apart right now.
Yeah, we're well within the bullshit range for what can happen in these opponents. In these AI opponents, rather. All right, I would quit right there, and that might be good for Bruno, because he's really going off.
Yeah, he is committed. He's gonna try to get rid of all these blocks. He's gonna have
Right,
some blues and yellows.
That's
Let's
good.
see. Yes, good for him. He's gonna tie this back up as Yume's struggling a little bit with Gary here, and he has some clears lined up with a bunch of blocks. So,
Oh yeah.
maybe game 3.
I just heard Kirby say, "Why is this race still going on?" Because we're at the 24-minute mark about. It's kind of hard to believe that we had a 13-minute from one of our competitors, but it's still possible to win if your opponent gets trolled enough.
Oh, SK super close with getting that kill, just a little one line short again, I believe, because he did send up that small follow-up afterward, and I think Gary, he raised his stack one row, but I'm not sure if he was exactly topped off. He maybe just raised to get his clear.
Yeah, Gary was all the way down to about 2 lines when the garbage fell, so he would have needed a lot of topping off material. Oh, I think... Oh, SK almost dies there, but luckily has the one clear. Gary's pretty low on blocks on SK's side, so it's really important that he keeps the pressure on. And meanwhile, it's like Yume is also having a hard time with... he's going up to 2 minutes on Gary and doesn't quite have him topped off, but he is sending a lot of garbage now. At least...
It's that moment where you're just waiting. You're not even watching either of the players' screens right now. You're just watching the CPUs to see when they're gonna make a mistake and die.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I think Yume might have him here. No, not quite. Well, it's the worst because they're close enough to dying where you don't want to reset, but there's nothing imminent in sight. God.
Oh, Yume might have something going on right here. Yes, he's going to finish it off. 256. Take the lead going into this very last stage here. Let's see if he can take and finish it out at a 2-0.
Meanwhile, we're going up to just above 26 minutes. Yeah, if I were SK, I would have finished this. I would have reset this a long time ago. Yeah, yeah, that's why I feel like there was oh, it looked like he was going to reset, but he decided against it, or maybe he just needed to vent for a moment.
Oh, Yume with a very good chain. It looks like he has the quick kill strat, and I think he's going to take it. There's the win.
Yeah, really good on Mewtwo. So he finishes with about a 26-48, which it's just the most important to just keep playing the best you can. I mean, you never know. Your opponent might get trolled super hard. Yume apparently not very happy with his performance. But it ends up working out for him.
Yeah, very, very close for both of them. Yume is going to survive and make it into the next round. It would have sucked to see him get double upset, but props to him. He manages to survive, and we'll see what he can do in the next round when we'll look at the bracket in a little bit, but his opponent has yet to be decided. But we're going to have SK join with us pretty soon because he was the first one knocked out of the tournament. We'll see what his opinions were on the whole tournament and this race in general.
Yeah.
Yo,
hey, Kirby.
What's up, SK?
Sorry, everyone had to see that second game.
Isn't this the worst game ever made?
But we saw some pretty close races. You know, you both got really trolled on that second race. So were nerves or frustration getting to you on that second one, or how are you feeling?
Oh, I just got annoyed that the matches were getting too long, and so I just sort of fooled around for like the rest of the race 'cause I knew I was gonna lose it.
Well, you maybe could have still won it, I guess, and brought to
Yeah,
game 3.
yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I know you like the Puzzle League series, but it's not like one that you practice a lot. Kind of just joining in on the fun anyway. So, what'd you think of the tournament in whole? Do you think you exceeded your expectations, or got a little bit better, or what do you think overall?
I think it was pretty much how I expected it to be. I got pretty lucky with pools, and so like I was like my expectation was like get out of pool, or my goal was to get out of pools, and I guess I was able to do at least that.
I think it's. I tend to screen watch when I'm in these tournaments, and that might have been to your advantage there if you would have seen how much Yume was also getting trolled. And
Oh, I mean, I don't. I mean, I haven't been screen watching during this tournament.
I feel you. I'm the same way. I'd like to know, but I just like to focus on myself half the time. And then, I mean, it's good to have some sense of urgency if you are very far behind, but I just like to stay focused because usually that's the best, at least for me.
Right.
But yeah, thanks for participating, man. You did make brackets, so you beat out a lot of other people. And I think you'll finish officially tied for 13th with whoever else loses that first round of losers. You had some tough opponents with the 4th and 5th seed, though. So, you know, props to you, especially for taking flag to a 3rd game and having some close games today.
Yeah, I'm glad I at least won one game in bracket.
yeah, winning anything against Flag, I think, is a pretty good accomplishment. Because he needs to stop. He just needs to calm down.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been a great tournament so far.